Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. This is so scary. The message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my story as anonymous? I am a South African woman and I want to tell you the things that happened when I met such a guy that I thought was very decent. I had met him on Tinder. Of all the places, I never thought that I will end up meeting a man who was involved in all of these occultic practices. What I had liked about his profile was that he had written that he was a Christian, and I immediately fell in love with him because I had been looking for a Christian man, a man that was going to love me the way that I was. When I started to speak with him, I did not even know that the man, he was not South African. Later on, when we started to talk, when he called me from the accent, that was when I heard that this guy, he was not South African. I then asked him how long he had been in South Africa. He told me that he came and after 2 years then he got married to a South African woman, and I was like, you're very fast, nay. He told me that for him it was a matter of finding ways for him to start his businesses in South Africa. That was why he had opted to marry a South African woman, and they had one child together. And I said, so where is it going to leave me now that you are a married guy? He then dropped the bomb on me and he told me that the woman, she was an alcoholic. Everything he was blaming on the late woman, saying that she died, even though I used to caution him of her drinking ways because she died when she was coming from a groove. And I honestly thought that indeed what he was telling me, it was the truth. Later on, that was when I discovered that the guy, he had been lying to me. He was actually at the accident scene. He was driving behind the wife, and I saw one picture that they had taken from the accident, and I saw that there was one car that he never drove. It was a Toyota Fortuner that was always parked in the garage. And I said, but this is the car that you have, so how come that two of your cars, they were at the same accident scene? That was when he said to me, no, what really happened was that I had gone to fetch her from the groove and she was too drunk, and when I tried to speak with her, she got into the vehicle and I was driving behind her. That was when she was involved in a terrible accident. So I was suspicious about the way that the wife had passed away. That was when he said that he wanted to spoil me. He said that he wanted to go with me to Dubai, but I said that I did not even have a passport, and he said, then go and take it. So he accompanied me to the Home Affairs, and then I went and I got the passport. Later on, after a couple of months, that was when he said, my things are sorted out, we can now go to Dubai. We then went to Dubai on our trip. There was nothing really that happened. We returned back to South Africa. It was the happiest days of my life. I even stopped working at the place where I was working so that I can just concentrate on my relationship. I was even tempted once to go and buy some ovulating pills so that I can quickly ovulate so that this guy can impregnate me, because I was already planning for the future. Hey, I did not even know that I was planning with a man that is a ritualist. When the bad dreams started, this was after he had forced me. He said that he wanted me and him to go to the cemetery. It was early in the morning. It was on a Saturday. He then said that he just wanted to go and drop flowers at his wife's grave, and it turned out that he did not just do it on that day. It was something that he always did after each and every 2 months. On a Saturday, in the next 2 months, then he would go to the wife's grave and he would go and put some flowers there. And I discovered later on that the wife passed away. It was on a Saturday, early Saturday morning. That was when she passed away. So we went to the graveyard, even though I did not want to go with him because it felt so weird for me, like I am dating him. I was not there when the wife was still alive. Then somehow I appear in front of a grave with a man, I was just scared. It just gave me like a negative vibe that I did not want in my life. And he forced me. He said, come on, just accompany me. What else are you going to be doing all alone? You're going to get bored. And then we went together. When we got to the cemetery, he did a couple of rituals that I did not even understand. I had never seen no person ever doing the things that he did when we went to visit his wife's grave. Maybe that is the Ashona culture, but I don't think that those things, they even do it in their country, because he collected some soil from the grave. When he collected the soil from the grave, that Toyota Fortuner that he never drove, that is always in the garage, then he pulled it out of the garage. Then he said that he wanted to wash the car. I watched him. When I saw that he was still holding that little plastic that had the soil from the grave, because I have been looking at him for a very long time, because I knew what was inside that plastic bag. It was soil from the graves, and I was scared. I was even thinking about telling him that I just wanted to go and see my mom so that I can get away from him, because I was thinking, like, what if in the middle of the night I start to hear those scary ghost sounds? I did not even know that the guy, it was more about rituals. Being afraid of ghosts, it was something that was so much better than the things that I realized and I saw later on. So I watched him. I pretended as if I wanted to get busy cleaning the house, and I was looking at him. I was inside the kitchen whilst I was watching him. That was when he looked to the right, he looked to the left, and he looked and he saw that no one was seeing him. He even called my name, and I hid. I did not even respond to him. When I did not answer him, that was when the guy then just started to wash the vehicle using the soil that he had dropped into this other bucket, and he mixed it. Then he started to wash, and he washed, and I was like, hey, this guy, what kind of rituals is he doing? Later in the evening, I then told him that I want to go to see my mom. So he was like refusing, saying that, what else did you see? What do you know about me? Why is it that you want to leave in a rush? He was very suspicious that there was something that I had seen. I later told him that I was scared, and he said, why are you scared? I then told him that I was afraid because I had seen him collecting the soil from the grave, and I had seen him washing the car that was not even dirty at all. Why was he washing that car that was not even dirty? So then he apologized, and he said, my love, I should have told you from the start. You see, when my wife passed away, I had returned back to Zim, and since I am a businessman, there were some of my relatives that I gave my money to, and those people, they wanted to steal my wealth because they just wanted to see me suffer, to die of poverty in South Africa. And I was like, so what did you do to your wife? He then said that he went to the mountains with this other prophet. He said that this prophet, he was his classmate. When they went to pray in the mountains, that was when they were approached by a baboon, and he claimed that this baboon, it was the spirit of a soldier that he had died in that mountain. And this baboon came to where they were, and the baboon said to him that, I am looking for a place where I can stay. I am tired of roaming around in the mountains. If you find me a place where I can stay, anyone that will help me, I am going to bless that man with so much wealth, so much that the whole world will marvel at the wealth that I would have given to him. And I said, so how does it connect with your wife? And he was like, seriously, can't you even follow the storyline? My wife was needed in order for this baboon to be changed from a baboon to become a human again. Don't you know that a spirit, for it to become a human again, there is blood that is needed? For a spirit cannot just wake without taking the form of a human being once again. And I said, so you killed your wife? And he was like, yes, I killed my wife. And what I did, even though it sounded as if I did something that was wrong, but my relatives were already fighting against me. And I knew that if I was going to go broke, my South African wife was going to dump me, because he knew from the time that they started dating that the wife was only after his money, even though he was not yet that rich, like I found him being rich. My brother, when he told me this story, I sat down and I started to think about it. And he said to me, like, even if you do not want me, but I'm going to keep on taking care of you. I said, okay, it's fine. But as for now, let us not sleep together until I am sure. He said, sure, no problem. Then I returned back to my place. I then called my friend and I told him that this was what had happened. I had discovered that my so-called cool, gentle boyfriend, he was into these rituals and he had sacrificed his wife, and he sacrificed the wife so that he can have more money. So my friend then said to me, what did he say about you? How is it going to affect you? And I said, I really do not know. So my friend then said, how about you speak with him first before we judge him? And I said, okay, I am going to speak with him. So Brother Nashi, I then returned back to my boyfriend and I said, okay, dude, let us talk about this. You say that you did this to your wife, right? What if tomorrow I become that sacrifice again, then you date another woman and then you start to blame me, saying that I am the one who did all of these things and I forced you? And he was like, no, if you have agreed to become like my permanent girlfriend, then I am going to show you everything. He then took me upstairs. So upstairs, there was this other little compartment. It was a very small room. Like when you enter into that room, you have to go into that room whilst you are kneeling. There is no place for you to stand up. He then showed me the bones of a skeleton, and these bones that he showed to me, they were the pelvic bones. And I said, like, what the hell is this? And he was like, these are the pelvic bones of my wife. And I said, are you not afraid of being arrested? And he said, how can I get arrested for something that is spiritual? He said that these pelvic bones that once belonged to the wife, they can only be seen by him or by someone that he would have asked his ancestors to open their spiritual eyes, just like what he had done to me. He had asked his ancestors already for them to open my spiritual eyes so that I can see everything as it is. And I said, so what do you do with these pelvic bones? He then told me that he has to regularly sleep with the pelvic bones as if he is sleeping with his own wife. And he said that is why the day when we first started making love together, you saw that there were scratches that were on my manhood. And when you asked me, I told you that I do not know what happened to me. It is because when I am sleeping with the pelvic bones, then I get my manhood scratched so bad, and it is because I'll be sleeping with a skeleton, and I have to continue doing this so that I can satisfy my late wife and she won't wake up as a ghost haunting me since I sacrificed her soul. And that is why I have to go back to the graveyard to go and put some flowers, and these were the favorite flowers that she loved. I go there and I put them on her grave because she thinks that she is alive. She is not in the spiritual world. She is right here with us. Even in this house, she is here. It is just she is too blind and she is deaf. Therefore, she does not know if I am with a woman or not. And I was like, you mean like right now there is a ghost in this house right now? And he said, yes, this is not just like a ghost. It is the spirit of my wife. I have to constantly make love to my wife. And this is the promise that I made when I was at the traditional healer shrine, that I was forever going to love her, even though I did all of these things to her. So brother, when he told me all of these things, I got so scared and I panicked. Then I started to cry. He said, no, do not cry. Why are you even crying? And I said, it is just too much. I never thought that this is what you are like. Why didn't you tell me that this is what you do? He said, but you just told me that you were going to accept me for who I am. And I said I was going to think about it. In my mind, I kept on hearing a woman's voice that was telling me that he is going to use you the same way that he used me. I also thought that he was not going to use me for rituals, meaning that after the wife, there was another girl again that he started dating. When he started dating that girl, he showed that girl the pictures that he was showing me as well, pretending as if this was the first time that he was in that room with a new woman, and he was telling the woman that if you agree, I am not going to sacrifice you. That is the voice of that woman that I was hearing. The woman was telling me that I have to be careful, for this man was going to use me for rituals. And when I heard that voice, Brother Nashi, I just told myself that I was not going to wait, and I said that please just let me go. He then became so angry with me and he started cursing me. He said that he wanted all the money that I had given to him and I was unable to give him the money, and he said that you are going to see what is going to happen to you. You are going to suffer a lot. I started to feel so dizzy, and I then told him that I wanted him to assist me so that I can get back home. That was when I discovered how cruel his heart was. He then said, since you have dumped me, why would I want to be with you? What if you accuse me of raping you? You can be on your way. I really do not want to be near you because I'm so scared that right now if I go close to you, you are going to say that maybe I raped you. He left me, Brother Nashi, where I was, and after he had left me where I was, then I had to look for transport and I returned back home. I started to vomit. In the meantime, my mom had called the pastor who came to pray for me, and the pastor then said that what had been revealed to him when he was praying for me was that when this blesser took me upstairs into that room, he was like initiating me as if we were getting married. He was initiating me in the spiritual realm because he cannot use a woman for a sacrifice without initiating the woman. So he was getting ready to put a ring on my finger without me even realizing that this was what was happening. And I remembered that when we were in that small room, he was playing with one of my fingers as if there was a ring that was there. He kept on rubbing and rubbing my finger, and he was initiating me. And when I heard a voice that was telling me to get out, that was when the spell was broken. I never, even in 1,000 years, I never thought that I'll end up coming across a ritualist on Tinder. Since that day, I'm scared of being on any dating website. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. That was the translation that I was sharing with you. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Have you ever met someone on Tinder that you suspected that this person was a ritualist, a serial killer, or someone that was just violent? Can you bring your dating horror stories